Oh, here we go.
I would say that because America is such a melting pot, when you look at every other country, it's very specific to the culture of that country. When we talk about Mexico, you talk about, maybe this is good material.
Sure.
But,
Oh, it's recording. Go ahead.
Yeah, when you talk about all of the other areas of the country, it doesn't mean that they're not culturally diverse. But America is nothing but a melting pot.
Yeah.
That's all it is cultural diversity.
Yeah.
Which includes all of the other countries' diversity, in our own country. And oftentimes there's such a concentration of people don't migrate to Madagascar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. People don't migrate to
Watch,
Venezuela.
one viewer is going to see this and they're from Madagascar.
Yeah, right.
What are the odds that's going to happen?
But yeah, if you just looked at the movement, the immigration, where are they going? Why is the conversation about America and American immigration?
Yeah, they're always immigrating here.
So it
seems to be the case.
And there's immigration in Europe and other places, of course.
Sure.
Yeah.
But so that's why I say, like, to have an American pope, it is a unique perspective because he's also been to those other countries.
It'll be great to hear his Catholic perspective on the issue of immigration and then working with Trump. I think there'll be more connections with each other and more listening and like understanding each other's side and coming together versus like the battle between the two. I think there'll be more unity there.
I had a conversation with our realtor who's selling a piece of commercial property we have in West Houston, and he is Jacques Napolitano. And
say that 3 times fast.
Yeah. And he is, he said that because the Venezuelans were moving in at such a high rate in Katy, West Houston, that the commercial real estate market has just taken a nosedive. And so because he's selling our property,
which is probably the only place, like everywhere else, it's booming, right?
Yeah.
As far as I can hear.
He said, Katy was the fastest growing city in America for a while.
Yeah.
And he said the professionals, accountants and, attorneys, everybody moving into to that area, it's just all dried up because they're worried about what the immigration is going to do. And,
really?
Yeah.
Well, that's the negative side that you don't hear from a certain group.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, bring them all in.
Yeah.
What about the negative effects of that? They're not being vetted. And, as we said before, we're not against immigration. We're against illegal immigration.
Right.
We don't want just anybody coming over here.
Yeah.
It's frustrating because, it scares people who do it legally. Right?
Right.
These Venezuelan folks are coming over to try to do business and set up shop here, but now they're scared. Even the ones that are here, they're not.
Now, I agree that the process, because we went through that trying to get folks over, some employees over from Mexico, and the lawyers are too involved.
Yeah.
I mean, there was so much legal paperwork that we had to do over and over again, repeat. Of course, it was during COVID, but still, it was a lot of ridiculous, repetitive paperwork over and over and over again. It's like, it needs to be done in a more efficient manner.
I suppose the way
put Doge in charge of immigration.
Help me think it through this from their perspective. People leave their homeland because for a better life financially, or the government is communistic or like a dictator or whatever else, and so isn't solving the problem like helping with that government and helping with the financial situations there versus everybody coming to one spot and then everything gets thrown into anarchy if you allow that. So
that's the whole
what
remain in Mexico.
America or anybody can do to help Venezuela or whatever nation, I think would be the answer,
because they're losing a lot of their hardworking citizenry.
Sure. And I was talking to...
It hurts everybody.
I was talking to one of our employees about it, and he was just, they're excited about the new president in Mexico. And so got me worried. It's like, okay, you're not going back, are you? Lose an employee here. But no, they're excited about what this new president working with Trump is going to do for Mexico.
Good.
So they're excited about it, really. So
interesting.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's there. There is a video where the guy puts the marble in the wine glass. Have you seen it? I think it's a TED Talk, and it's on immigration. I wish I could think of the name of it, but it talked about the amount of resources that it takes and how it's mathematically it's impossible for us to take care of all the people that are actually coming over.
5.6 billion people in the world who live in countries with average incomes below that of Mexico. That's 5,600 gumballs. And so what is it that the elites are telling us? They're telling us that when we take this 1 million immigrants, that we somehow or another are tackling world poverty.
And then he talked about helping the country have a better outlook so they don't want to come to America, so that they have opportunity in their own homeland. It's the land of opportunity, right? So it's always been known for.
Well, make it better there for them.
Yeah.
They'll want to. They're going to want to stay. I mean, wouldn't you want to stay home? Years ago, we had the opportunity to go to Mexico and see where our guys live.
Yeah.
And we were actually in the mountains. And I mean, it's beautiful there.
Yeah.
And I even asked him, I said, why would you leave all of this?
Yeah.
And come to Texas where it's dry and brown and desert.
Yeah.
Why would you do that when you live here in this like tropical rainforest paradise? Yeah. And there were these guys working on the road down below because, like I said, we're on the side of a mountain. He said, you see those guys down there? Look like normal county guys working on the road. He said, yeah, they make $10 a week.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
like, God, no wonder.
It's a no-brainer.
He makes way more than that in an hour.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
Yeah.
In an hour.
Yeah,
That's
that they make all week.
Yeah. That's
That's
unbelievable.
why they do it. So
When I lived in Denver, Aurora area, I would see more Mexico flags than I saw American flags growing up. And so I think everybody did have pride of their country and they missed their country.
Sure.
But because of situations like that, they're forced to go somewhere else.
I don't know. I don't like that so much that they're waving they're here in the United States and they're waving somebody else's flag. I mean, if you're so proud of it, why did you leave?
Right.
Right.
It's good to.
That's a negative side of it,
We all appreciate
but-
our heritage. Like
Sure.
talk about being German and Catholic and,
Yeah.
Czech and Catholic, Italian and Catholic.
Right.
But to truly wave another country's flag, when I was
Well,
a kid,
in the way they were doing it.
illegal.
The way they were doing it, they're waving it as in we're better than the United States.
Oh, yeah.
If they're doing it just to honor their heritage, hey, more than that's awesome. Great. Do that.
Absolutely.
But if you're doing it the way they were doing it, it was in protest of the United States and immigration and all that stuff. You're saying yours is you're better, or your country's better, then why should
I always thought if you stuck your flag in the ground, you just took over the land. Like that's it, right? This is that country now.
But no, everybody's proud of their heritage.
Yeah. It should be.
You should be. You should be. If you're not, you should be.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I used to think American. What is their hot dogs and hamburgers? Or,
what is American?
It's not just about the food.
Yeah.
If so, then you would say steaks and barbecue.
Steaks
and
barbecue.
Yeah.
Baseball.
Yeah.
And our new pope is a White Sox fan.
Yes, he is.
I'm not too bitter about that. It's all right. He likes baseball. So
That's true.
True.
That's true.
yeah.
Frank Thomas days. Or,
I remember
It was
those
back then,
days.
wasn't it? Yeah,
I
that's
remember
right.
those days.
Yeah, it was 2005 where they show the clip. It's been all over social media where he was at the World Ninth. It was in the ninth inning of the World Series. The Astros are playing the White Sox for Game 1.
Okay.
And there he is in the stands just cheering them on,
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Who was he next to? Do you know? Because I remember watching.
I don't remember.
Last week I watched his brother's interviews of hearing the news that their brother became pope, and it's just real. You just really hear what their perspective is of growing up with them, and just
they say that guy's hilarious.
Yeah, one of them is the bigger one of the two, I guess.
Yeah.
Probably the older brother.
Yeah.
He got
One of them is single and has been a great teacher or whatever else and stuff like that. So the other one's pretty much he's just going to say how it is. I wanted to stay in bed. I wasn't feeling well, and all you darn reporters are coming out here and like sitting on my lawn and everything else. I'm like, he is not holding back. Hopefully it was like, oh gosh,
that's my brother.
brother's unleashed.
There's always that one guy in the family, that one crazy uncle. If you don't know who it is, might be you.
Yeah. Maybe more cameras went to that house for the reason.
Everybody knew.
What is he going to say?
Yeah, I've heard some comments that he has made, I think, that were a little maybe little derogatory, maybe. And he's like, yep, there's always that one crazy uncle. Every family's got one.
I guess it was John Hill sharing in Michigan how where he was ordained was actually in Michigan.
Okay.
Outside of Detroit, I believe.
Okay.
So that was kind of neat to see. So there's a lot of, and I would say that because to actually go back and look at the roots of where the Pope came from.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat. Like, man, I grew up with him. He was the guy that,
right.
Or just,
well, we always, we know the Holy Spirit's in charge.
Yeah.
And it just seems like that he always knows, well, of course, why does it seem like he knows what we need?
Yes.
So we go through these periods of leadership that we were like, why did that guy do this? Why did that guy do that? It's kind of like the whole, I look back at the Biden
there you go
presidency or dictatorship, whatever you want to call it. And I look back on it and I think I'm really glad that he beat Trump the first time, whether he did legitimately or not. Yeah. I'm really glad because now look at the perspective that Trump has going in this time around. So it just goes in. The Holy Spirit's got it. Yeah. So I just see that this Pope, the excitement everybody has over this guy, and being that he's an American, there's a reason why there's an American Pope.
Cardinal Dolan didn't even know him hardly at all. Like, he's obviously he's a cardinal from the United States, and he goes, he was an outsider. He was not even on the top of the list, as we all know. But he's like, that's the reason why. He's the one to be chosen because he wasn't. I mean, we're not about a popularity contest. We're not about. This is just he does have all the right credentials, though. He really is a great person for it. So, but
the one who wants it should not be it.
Right.
But you should watch the interview of Cardinal Dolan because the news people in New York are not afraid to ask him the questions of what happens in the conclave, and he is just so witty and quick about just giving him an answer but not telling him anything.
He's witty.
He's like, if you give me a couple drinks one time, I might share something with you. I'll see you on Tuesday, kind of thing. But he was definitely
he's been around the block. He knows how to handle reporters.
He knows their names and everything. It was kind of fun.
He's sharp.
Yeah.
This is great.
Listening to him and Father Joe Krupp, on the Good News.
Oh, dear Lord.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That would be a fun exchange.
Oh, man.
Same
Can't
caliber
imagine.
in a lot of ways.
Yes.
Tell it like it is.
Yeah.
To, really, Cardinal Dolan, because I got to meet him and smoke a cigar with him on the cruise. He is everything you might imagine in somebody who really has the influence he has, but has a spirit of God. I wasn't sure what to expect. It just some people say a controversial figure, or he said this or that or the other. So I went in with no expectation except for your
always
eminence.
a good thing.
And of course he comes up to me and is like, Chris, Rome boy, how are you doing?
What?
And I was like, what in the world? Of course, David DeFranco, making the introduction before, and telling him,
dude, hook up, man. We need Cardinal Dolan on the show.
Yeah. Oh,
hey,
man.
David.
It was,
we would be laughing a lot, I guarantee on that episode.
Oh, yeah, just the instant humility. You could, we went to banter and everything immediately, and I offered him a cigar, and he said, nope, got my own, and sat down, and
I prefer mine.
Yeah.
You don't mind?
Yeah, the priest that goes around with him everywhere he goes, you see him. It's this, I forget his name, super nice guy, but he's a busy priest.
Yeah.
And he opens up his jacket, pulls out this roll of cigars, pulls out his huge cigar, and I'm like, how'd you get that through this lighter? How'd you get that through the airport? It's like an aerosol can, And I said, Cardinal Dolan, I bet you didn't pay for that. And he was like, why do you say? And I said, come on, tell me. And the priest next to him was like, actually, my parents gave it. He said, look, it's got Dolan right on the side. Of course it's mine. It's, And I said, but I bet you didn't pay for it. and this priest, that was working with him, he was like, actually, my parents got it for him for a Christmas gift or a birthday gift or whatever. And I was like, I got you. And he's like, you're not supposed to say anything.
He just got fired.
Yeah. It was great. And then I thought, maybe that's his jester because, he wasn't going to smoke a cigar that came from some, nobody that.
Right.
Cardinal Dolan was talking about at the, before the conclave, the breakfasts and the lunches. He goes, the cheap Italian breakfasts, we get a crust of bread, and the coffee wasn't any good, but the lunches were pretty delicious. But anyways, he was just like, we got to get out of here so we can get some good food. Let's vote for somebody.
Oh, my God.
This is not good.
So apparently Italians don't do breakfast.
Yeah, it's very simple. So,
Yeah,
even for the Cardinals, though, they didn't even bust out eggs or anything. Come on now, the guys need protein to keep going here.
Well, our pilgrims in Italy, they were like, lunch meat for breakfast? What is this?
Yeah, that's Italy for you.
It's different. Yeah, they're cold cuts. Don't call it lunch meat.
It was not Canadian bacon. It just was uncooked bacon.
Yep.
That was pretty raw. It was good.
Yeah.
It was very raw.
Yep.
Canada's too far away to make their bacon plain, right? So
So in the meantime,
be bold.
be real.
Be Catholic. God bless.